When God anoints a man, there is a way in which the man begins to carry himself, present the gospel. There's a way in which he carries himself. There's a way in which he dresses. There's a way in which he presents himself. Sometimes it may not be that he's presenting himself like as a style, but that's who he is. So now if you are saying, man of God, I wanna, I'm receiving impartation from you. So the quickest way to flow in the dimension of the man is to love the person more than you love the gift. The moment when you do it that way, that's why you will now find yourself doing things as that man. You will now find yourself eating the same foods that that person eats. You will now find yourself dressing as the person, liking the same taste of cars and all that. So once it's like that, impartation automatically transitions smoothly. There's an activation and there's an overflow of the anointing from that very head to the person who's desiring to walk in the dimension. What am I saying? This is more like a relationship, whether of husband and wife or God and man. When God sometimes comes in a service, he heals people, newcomers. Most of the time, people that receive healing are strangers, not even sons in church. Those ones are good. Most of them are even miracle thieves because they just come, they know how to receive, and they receive, and they just disappear. So it tells you how quick it is to receive. So it's easier for everybody to receive, but it's quite difficult for people to maintain. So once you have loved the person, it's easier to maintain the grace they carry. Why? Because you have now mastered the art. There's what we call the art. So if I talk about, let's say, somebody will ask to say, oh, man of God, how does God's voice sound like? I can give you that, but you won't hear the voice. But if I tell you based on the art of hearing God's voice, I'm telling you the equation part, this. You understand? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. The equation part is the art part, the strategy to say, oh, if you pray at this time, this is what happens. If you do things like this, this is what happens. That's why you see that sometimes there are people who have come to receive impartation, but they fail to receive. Why? Because they came with their style from wherever they got those things from. So they want that thing to work in the present, but yet they want to receive from you. It doesn't normally work that way. So now, if you have come to God, you submit to the way of God and say, okay, this is what I knew in time past. I'm laying it all down on the ground. I want to learn. What is it that you want from me? Then God will just tell you, don't tell me that you love me. I want you to obey my word. If you obey my word, I will know that you love me. So where you are coming from, you are told that, oh, just keep telling him how sweet he is and stuff. And that's also true. You understand? But in this case now, you want to move from a certain dimension that you are in, even into a deeper. Now, you can't try to apply what you know from the past and want to bring it here. Even if what you learned from another great and a major prophet and a general prophet and a whatever prophet, and you think that it's going to work everywhere. It's not the same. So when God gives you a man of God, when God gives you a prophet, a pastor, a priest, one, what caused you to sit under the leadership is as a result, you saw a sign that God is here. Maybe God didn't speak to you, but you saw a sign. But to some, God spoke to them. So now what you do is you sit under the leadership and begin to dig the style. You love the style of the person. When you love the style of the person, it's going to become easier now. Like a certain scale will fall off your eyes for you to begin to see how God speaks. Because sometimes, let me say, somebody can ask me to say, Prophet, how do you prophesy? I can give you an answer, but the next 2 minutes I can prophesy, but not with what I just told you. But because you don't love the person, you are going to miss it. But if you love the person, you also love the style, the presentation. So in the presentation, that's where your scales, your spiritual scales will fall off, and you begin to see like how, okay, when you say this, I believe this is what he saw, because I was seeing something similar as he's seeing. Yours might be at a shallow dimension, but because you have so much loved the person, God now begins to allow the anointing to overflow. So you love the person, you love the style. Before you know it, the anointing will begin to overflow. There's in closing, concerning this same question, years ago, I remember I was giving somebody a prophecy. Then I say to him, there are 2 major tribes in the prophetic that God is raising in these end times: the tribe of Moses and the tribe of Elijah. And I say to the guy, you fall under the tribe of Moses. Then he said, Moses appeared to me, man of God.